everyone, it's Paige. Welcome back to my channel. Get away from me, what? First off, I'm so sorry I did not upload last week. I posted on my Instagram story. If you don't follow me there, go ahead and follow me. I do post semi-frequent like story updates, and occasionally I'll post like a picture. But anyway, I posted on Instagram that I hadn't posted a video because finals week was happening, but I did want to take the time today to both tell you the books that I read in April, and there were 5 of them, so yoo-hoo! And also I wanted to make this sort of just like a small birthday vlog. So my birthday is on Monday actually, which is in 2 days, but because of finals and everything, I won't really have a chance to celebrate it on Monday. Not to mention Troy also works on the weekdays, so we decided to celebrate my birthday today, which is Saturday. We are gonna have like a little bonfire in my yard, which is where we're at now. And we decided we're gonna dress up like we're going to a concert, even though we're not. So that's why I look kind of unusual today. I have really heavy black eyeliner on and eyeshadow. So yeah, if you were wondering why I look the way I do, why I have a choker on, which is also not typical, that's because we're trying to pretend like we're going to a concert. Another small announcement I wanted to make here is that I am doing a giveaway very, very soon. It is Harry Potter related, but I will be posting that video probably in a week or 2 weeks, something like that, and I'll tell you more details about it, but definitely keep an eye out for that video because I am so excited to do this giveaway. Troy's carrying down big pieces of wood for the future bonfire. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into the books that I read during April. So the first 3 books I'm about to mention are actually in my 24-hour reading vlog, the last video I did. So if you're interested in seeing, the process of reading those books, then go ahead and check out that video. But the first book I finished in April was Alone in the Wild by Kelley Armstrong. This is the 5th installment in the Rockton series, which is a mystery thriller series. And I said this before, I've done so many synopses of this book series because I love it so much. Ooh, what is that? Ah, spider! Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Anyways, so really all I'll say about Rockton is that it has a strong female protagonist who is a detective from the city who finds herself now living in a very rural, off-the-grid town named Rockton, and mysteries ensue. It's just a really, really great series. I love it so much, and this is the 5th installment. I gave this installment 4 stars on Goodreads, maybe 4.5. It was one of the installments that I liked more. So there have been a couple installments of the series that weren't bad necessarily, but they just didn't have the same oomph as other ones, and I felt like this installment kind of brought it. So I did like this one quite a lot, and I'm excited to see what's next. I think Kelley Armstrong has confirmed that there are at least 2 more installments on the horizon, so I feel like this series has a lot of places to go still, and I'm excited to see where. So the next book I read, actually I listened to it on audiobook, was Sadie by Courtney Summers. This is a YA mystery suspense novel, and it's written like a podcast. So when you listen to the audiobook, which in my opinion is the best format to read the book, you're listening to like a fictional podcast, which makes it really, really, really interesting. And basically it's like split perspective between Sadie, who is this girl who is on a mission. She's on this like really ride or die kind of road trip, and this like investigative journalist who's like trying to find her or like solve the mystery of where she went, things like that. So yeah, it is split perspective, and the journalist, obviously his perspective is more so in the podcast format. So anyway, I gave this book 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. My only warning to you is that if you plan on reading this book, there are themes of sexual assault, abuse, alcoholism, drug addiction. Like there's a lot of hard themes in this book, which coming with that, it is kind of a sad book in a lot of ways. So I would say prepare yourself for that, or if you aren't comfortable with those themes, then don't reach for this. I will say that all of the important characters of this novel, especially the two protagonists, have great voice actors. They have great narrators, but some of the like really side characters, because it is a full cast audiobook, some of the side characters that pop up weirdly don't have great voice acting. There was only like two maybe that I was listening to and I was like, ugh. But for the most part, a lot of them do have really talented narrators. I just wanted to warn you about that because it is, like I said, a full cast audiobook. There are just a couple in there that aren't great. Okay, so moving along, the third book I finished in April, and this again was in that 24-hour readathon vlog that I did, was A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Brigid Kemmerer. This is a YA fantasy series inspired by Beauty and the Beast, and I had been planning on reading this book forever. There was so much anticipation for this book release, and I kind of got on that hype train because I do love Beauty and the Beast, and hello. So the book is actually split perspective between a cursed prince named Prince Wren, who lives in this like fantasy world, and a girl named Harper, who actually has cerebral palsy. And she lives in Washington, D.C. with her brother and her mom. And one day, as she's, you know, out on the streets of Washington, D.C., she gets sucked into Prince Wren's world. So this book had a strong start for me, and then it kind of lulled a little bit, and then it came straight back up. So at the beginning I was like, ooh, great start, I really like that, and then I thought I wouldn't like the characters so much. Like, I really didn't like Prince Wren for whatever reason. I don't know, I just felt like he was unrealistic. I don't know. And then, you know, things picked up a little bit. I started to like Prince Wren more, but I will continue to say, and I said this at the end of that readathon, my favorite character in that book was definitely Gray. So from what I've heard, the second book in this series actually does follow Gray, so that's kind of the only reason I would pick it up, I think, because from what I understand, Harper and Prince Wren take a backseat to Gray's perspective. So I gave this book 4 stars. I really liked it. It just didn't blow me away necessarily, but it was like a strong YA fantasy. So after I finished that book, I think I was on sort of a fantasy kick, and I haven't actually gotten a lot of time to read fantasy because I've been so busy with school. But after I finished that book, I was looking for something short and sweet and fantastical to keep me entertained, and as I was looking through the Audible selection, I found The Tales of Beedle the Bard by J.K. Rowling. I think I owned a copy of this, like a physical copy of this, many years ago. I don't think I have it anymore for some reason. Maybe I gave it to one of my younger cousins or something, but I remember reading it, or at least some parts or some stories of the book, and I wasn't overly taken with it, and I saw this audiobook and I saw that it was narrated by a bunch of the Harry Potter actors, so Jude Law, Bonnie Wright, you know, Harry Potter actors, I can't name them all. When I saw the great cast, and I was like, I should give this a go, you know, and I did, and I was so pleasantly surprised. I highly recommend this, and the reason why I recommend it is because there are allusions to Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, especially. Like, obviously if you have read or seen Deathly Hallows, then you know that Hermione is gifted Beedle the Bard, a copy that belonged to Dumbledore. So there are allusions to Hermione at the beginning, and between each story, and trust me, I enjoyed the stories, I really did, but they weren't really what sold the book to me. What I enjoyed was between each story, there was like a section of commentary by Dumbledore. So those parts were read by Jude Law because he plays Dumbledore in the Fantastic Beasts filmology. There was just something about hearing like his annotations or like his thoughts on the stories, the research that he had done, that made it so incredibly believable to me. Like, it was great, and it's really not that long of an audiobook, so if you're looking for something short and sweet and Harry Potter and fantasy, then I highly recommend this. I'm not sure if it would be as noteworthy for people who don't like Harry Potter, but you can always give it a go. Like I said, the strong suit of the book really isn't the stories in my opinion, but it is like getting to hear Dumbledore's take on them and his relating the stories to wizarding history. Okay, So last up, I finally finished my reread of To Kill a Mockingbird this month. So I actually started rereading To Kill a Mockingbird because I was asked to teach this as like a mini course to a group of high schoolers. And even though I had read this book before in like high school, I really barely remembered the fine details of the book because I don't, and maybe you guys are the same way, but things that I was assigned to read in high school usually didn't hit home with me very much. Really, any book that I'm assigned to read, I just don't absorb as well as books that I'm just reading because I want to read them, and that's an awful trait. I know that, like, it should be the other way around. I should try to be more invested in books that I'm being graded on reading, but that's just not how it works out. So anyway, I knew that I had to reread this book, and I kind of read it in the same blocks that I was assigning it. Like, I tried to read ahead of my students, but I was reading it at the same time that I was assigning it to them, which was for the best, really, because it... Why are there bugs all up in my hair? What the heck? Jeez. Because then the material was fresh to me as it was fresh to them. So I think that was the best method. But, you know, with that being said, this was the month that I finally finished it. Ugh. And I started reading this book and teaching it like in January. Granted, I only taught the book like once a week. So, you know, yeah, wow, that's a long time to be rereading a book though. Yeah, I don't really have an excuse for that. It just, you know, other things took priority. But what I wanted to talk about with this book is that I encourage you to reread books that you were assigned in high school, like classic books like this book, because, like I said, if you were the same as I was in high school, I just didn't absorb that material the same way that I take it in as an adult, reading it for my own benefit. I enjoyed this book so much more than I ever would have thought possible. I'm so glad that I did get the chance to reread it. I don't know if that would be the case for any high school book that you're supposed to read, but definitely for this book in particular, definitely worth a reread if you haven't read it for a long time. It's not just for high schoolers. It's not just for anyone, it's for everyone. But anyway, I'm gonna sign off for now and probably include a few clips of my birthday bonfire. And like I said, please keep an eye out for my giveaway video, which is coming very soon. And wish me luck on the rest of my finals. If you are also taking finals, good luck to you. So anyway, hope you have a good day.
Call 412-6969-6969, 420. And that'll be our call number here. We're waiting on another one here. Oh, we got another caller here. His name is Christoph Venhist. I think I pronounced that correctly. Hey, Christoph, how you doing? Hello. What would you like to say to Paige today? I would like to wish her a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Paige. Please talk to me. I've been calling you. Okay. That was weird.
Got a sick feeling